Hello, everyone. Dr. Allen here. I'm recording this actually on July 7th. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, hope everyone had a great long weekend for the 4th. Um, I'm recording this again on Monday the 7th. I've kind of did peek to see if anyone had logged in and was getting into the class, and it looked like everything on week one so far has gone pretty well. But as always, email me if you need anything or need to contact me. Um, I'm not this hopefully this video won't be as long as last week. I know last week's was about 45 minutes. I do want to kind of mention, I know I flew kind of through it last week. I will be out of the country next week. I'll be back basically, I'm going from the evening of the 14th. I'll be back the evening of the 21st. I will have access to email and Blackboard, Brightspace. So any issues, feel free to email or contact. I might be a little off on the times. I think it's a 5-hour difference, but I'll make sure to get back to you and see what's going on. My plan is to make sure I'm checking in every day that I haven't messed up too much in setting up things. With that being said, I said I'd try to keep this video shorter. So we're going to dive right in for week 2. As you can see, it's the 14th through the 20th. I have everything set up on the 20th to be due. Again, that's Sunday, 11:59 p.m. on that date. If you have any issues, just email me again. I'll get back to you because I'll probably start trying to grade them. I usually go right in on the Monday or Tuesday afterwards. Couple other things. I will have YouTube videos up on all the technology I'm going to show you today. This week is more, I'm just going to show you the tech and mention what needs or how it can be utilized a little bit. To keep the time down, I got supporting YouTube videos because I'm really going to hit in there, show it, and get out. Uh, you do have some choices in terms of the tech that you can use if you're more familiar with one. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and get into it. Here's the outline for the week. We're going to look at presentation softwares. There's a lot, and if you know of any others, just let me know that you want to try. I'm going to show you Nearpod. That's the one I'm most familiar with. There are things, a lot of people prefer Pear Deck over Nearpod. I just have used Nearpod for a very, very long time, for well over 10 years now. I just know it. It's the one I'm going to show you. But if you are familiar with any of these, feel free to do that. I have this in here. You can also use Metameter. That's one that's becoming very popular, and I almost made it a separate assignment, but I decided to keep it in presentation software. I'm going to update this because of one thing. We're also going to look at Edpuzzle. I have a feeling post-pandemic, most people have probably messed around with Edpuzzle. One thing I have found in this class, people either really, really like setting up Edpuzzle, or some people really, really, really hate using Edpuzzle. I am actually going to show you something called Google Notebook, which is it's not Edpuzzle, but it makes podcasts. So I'm going to give you the choice of whether you want to do the Google Notebook or the Edpuzzle. If you want to use Edpuzzle, the directions are up. There will be a YouTube video. I like Edpuzzle, but I think the Google one, in the interest of time, because we're a summer class, it might be a little easier to use and to get the Google assignment done versus the Edpuzzle. The Edpuzzle one can get a little frustrating. And with me being out of the country, I don't know if I'll be able to answer people as quick as I would normally like to. So you're welcome to do Edpuzzle, but you're going to have a choice, basically. It's going to say, and actually, let me just go ahead and put it on here so I don't forget. Slowly, I'll put it on here. You can also let's just do that, and then we'll go ahead and make a little correction. Google Notebook or Edpuzzle. So I will show you that. Then you can also, you're going to do an assignment on Canva. That one's pretty straightforward. That's just making a flyer of some sort. I think a lot of people have already used Canva in the past. It's a very, very popular tool. And the QR code is actually pretty straightforward too. I just want to show you some of the things that you have access to in your Shepherd accounts. With that being said, so we're going to do presentation software, Google Notebook or Edpuzzle, Canva, QR codes. That's what you're going to submit. You're going to read Tech Like a Pirate chapters 2 and 3. Your assignments are the blog, which you can pick any of the text. I'm pointing at the screen for some reason. You can pick any of these texts to do your blog on. It doesn't matter which one, just to do a review. The discussion on the readings. You're going to do the presentation software, the QR code, the Edpuzzle or Google Notebook. I'll correct that too here in a sec. And then also the Canvas should be down there. So those are your assignments. Let me just go ahead and fix those bottom two. Sorry, when I roll things over, I catch things after the fact, and while I'm talking, it's probably just better to go ahead and fix it. Google Notebook, Canva. I don't think any of these are going to take you too terribly long to do again, but I'll kind of give you the pros and cons with some of this. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump right in. There are some other tools on here if you're interested. I put the Cone of Experience on here. It's kind of, one of those things where if you check it out, it's kind of interesting. This was actually using a Nearpod, and just to kind of segue in there, the Cone of Experience is basically something where it talks about, it's kind of a Piaget type thing where you learn through doing, and that's what the top of the cone is, so to speak. I said pyramid, sometimes I'll hear it referred to that. Nearpod. As you can see here, there's some this was done in a Nearpod. And if you look, Nearpod is very cool because you can get some quick, instant formative assessment. And in case you're just beginning the program, I'm assuming most people know what formative assessment is. Formative is basically those quick checks for understanding. Nearpod, you've probably done it as a student, or maybe you've made some. You can do that. You can use the collaborative board. You can do polls. You can do, let me scroll down here. I think I got another one on here. You can draw things. I've even had students circle emojis before. You can embed videos. It's a pretty cool tool. So what do you need to do? Well, first of all, and I'm assuming most people have done this, you're going to go to nearpod.com, and then you're going to sign in. You should, at this point, have a Google login. You can just sign into this. As I mentioned, it's easier to just have a Google and sign in. You can use it for all of these texts. Do not do any type of upgrade. Do not, unless you really, really want to pay for it. There should be nothing on here that you need to pay for. Just do the free account. The assignment can be completed with the free account. So what do you do? Well, when you get to, I'm going to go ahead and log out real quick, just so I can show you from the start. Maybe. All right. When you get to nearpod.com, you can see, let me move my face. You can go in here, you can log in. Slowly log in. As you can see, there's your Google. You're going to go. I have to admit, I have had this so long, I didn't even use my Google, but to create my own. And of course, I just typed in my password correctly. How do you like that? See, that's why you use the Google. There you go. All right. It'll take you to this. So you can see, I've used this for a very long time. Some of these, if you look in the libraries, there are sample ones you can use. There's the Nearpod library that other people have made. You can get reports after you've completed a Nearpod with a class. You can make sub-plans. Again, I think most of you have done this. You're going to log in with that code. You can do these. You can assign these individually, or you can do them as a class. I would say 95% of the time, maybe even higher than that, I always do them as a class and just try to get some discussion going in my class. But let me go back there. So how do you do this? Let me show you one real quick. Just, here's one I just did. I kind of did it with the Cone of Experience if you want to check it out. But this was a presentation I did. And as you can see, it's just a PowerPoint. I will say this, when you're making your Nearpod, I would make it in PowerPoint and load it. And I'll show you how to do that here in a second. The actual slide making tool in Nearpod it's okay. It's better than it was, but it's not as good as it once. Let me rephrase that. It's not as good as like working in PowerPoint, and it's very easy to do. So I'll show you. You can make the slides in Nearpod though, if you would prefer to do that. But as you can see, I have collaborative things up here where we would look at a document, and some of you that are in this class actually attended this. So you could just, like, little sticky notes will pop up in there. And I think I mostly use collaborative on this. There's multiple choice. So you can do like things like that. It just gives you feedback. You can hide student names. I would also, on anything that we do in this class, I always recommend to make sure that students put in their names, because when you download the data to see if they actually understand things and who's missing things, you know who it is. Also, it just avoids headaches. Um, it never fails that if you let students put in any weird name, someone's going to put something up that you don't want, and someone from administration will walk in and you're going to be face palming, so to speak. So, and then again, there's a poem. So enough with all this. So we want to actually make something, don't we? Let me go back. You're going to go into this. Once you sign in, you're going to create a lesson. We're going to create it from scratch. Okay. As you can see, there's nothing here. This is probably not the perfect thing to do, but you'll get the point. Whoops. You can add activities. And when you go here, I'm going to do this last, but you can add different things. There's images, there's slides. That's what I was saying. You can just individually do the slides. Let's just do one. I think it's a lot of, I think it's clunky compared to PowerPoint personally, but here you go. It's gotten better though. Test for 530B. And then you can click whatever you want. We'll save it. So that's there. But what I like to do is this. I like to click this. We're going to click upload files. On my other screen over here, whoop, I have a PDF saved. And as you can see, you can do a PDF or a PowerPoint. I have a PDF saved that I can just load here. And I'm going to load it in here. And I always pick individual slides. That's just me. I think it's just easier. And if you watch, it's going to process. Sorry, I'm thinking. Scratching my head. And as you can see, there's a form that was added. That was one. Let's add another. Usually you can do one that I thought had a little more slides to it. So let's go back. Let's add another one. Let's do. Give me 1 sec here. I think I have a few over here saved. This is great. There we go. Let's get out of here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to delete that one. Sorry, you're getting to see how I delete them. Let's do that. I thought that one had more in it. That is total. Like I say, we'll just keep pushing. Let's put this one on. I'm going to drop this PowerPoint in. Hopefully it's got a few more slides on it. Be my luck, it'll have one again. So, and as you can see, it's processing over there down on the right. And there should be a bunch of slides, like what just popped up with the PDF. But as you see, there you go. I want you to create a presentation that has at least 10 slides. Yes, the title page can count. And also what I'm going to tell you to come in here will, the title page counts. Let's just leave it at that. And then I want you to add a little bit of the bells and whistles. So what you're going to do is you're going to click here and you're going to scroll down. You may have a little different than I do because I have a gold membership, but you still should have multiple choice, fill in the blank. Time to Climb is very popular. It's like the Price is Right thing where they answer questions and they go up kind of thing. There's discussion. These are probably the ones I use the most, but let's do poll and we'll add. And what you do, you will slowly get a screen with a poll. You can add text. Who is the best team? I'm just making these up. Team. Again, make these relevant to your content area or something you're going to teach. But we'll say Commanders. We'll say Ravens. And we'll add an answer. We'll do Dolphins. And you do need to, this is just a poll, so they're going to guess. And you can add, you don't have to, but you can add images if you want. You're going to click Save. And if you look, it's down here at the bottom. But here's the beauty. Maybe you want this poll to be somewhere else on the PowerPoint or on the Nearpod. You just put it wherever, slide it wherever you want. When you want to add another one, you just go down here. You can put web content. I just want 3 bells and whistles in your 10 slides. I specifically say some in the directions, honestly, I'm not that picky. I just want to see that you can put them in there. So if you want to put in a video, that's fine, especially if it's like actually adapted. So let's just do that. I don't know if video is on the free membership or not, but if it is, we're going to head and look at one. You can see there's Nearpod videos. Let's go back, and I haven't actually finished that, so let's edit it. You can also go in here. Another one that I use a lot is the open-ended question. So let's just go ahead and add that. And by the way, you can have 3 of the same thing. I just want 3 things in there that are part of the Nearpod tools. So you can do this open-ended question. Why do you think it has been so hot this summer? It's probably a lightning rod question, but I'm not going to see the answers and you won't be completing this. So we'll go with that. And you just hit save, and that should do it. Excuse me. You will just slide that up. I told you these are one take, and I would have sneezed in class. There you go. And you can slide it wherever you want. You just need to do 3 of those. So you need to for the Nearpod. This is probably the most time consuming one that you'll do, probably. You're going to create an account. You can do that with your Google. You can make individual slides. You need 10, or you can just make them on a PowerPoint, or use a PowerPoint that you already have. That is fine. You're going to load it up. Once they load, you're going to add 3 or 4 bells and whistles. You're going to hit save. And this is what you're going to submit. You kind of have 2 choices here. I'll tell you what's usually the easiest. The easiest is usually to hit those 3 dots right there and export as a PDF and submit the PDF, because I'll see all the questions. You can, if you want, you can actually just, that's what I'm going to recommend that you do. You technically can send me the code, or you can share with teachers, like you can do this and just send an email with the link. There's the link right there. You can submit that link on a Word document. I really would do the PDF personally, but that's Nearpod. I do have directions, but what you need to do, create a Nearpod, 10 slides, add 3 bells and whistles. Can be 3 of the same, can be 3 different ones. Just, I need to see it. That's what you submit for the presentation. If you want to use one of the other things that are listed, I'm going to go ahead and delete this one so I don't forget. And if you want to use one of the other ones that are listed here, like Pear Deck, a lot of schools, actually, school districts have Pear Deck memberships. So feel free. There's also Prezi. Metameter, like I said, is starting to get very popular. It has all the word clouds and all. I actually like Metameter a lot. I'm just more familiar with Nearpod. And of course, there's Powtoons, which you can add like cute little stuff on there. But again, either one, any of these will work. Nearpod's the one I'm going to show you, though, and just recommend that you do. Okay. With that, now the slight change, and I don't even think I updated it on the syllabus. I will get back to that. Edpuzzle. You are welcome to do an Edpuzzle. The directions are on the site, or down here. And actually, let me just go ahead and hit them. If you do an Edpuzzle, you have to create an account. Again, the Google will work. You select a video. It needs to be edited, or you need to pick one that's 5 minutes or less, and you can add questions in it. It's a pretty cool tool. I really would suggest checking it out if you're not going to do the Edpuzzle assignment, because I think this other one may make your life a little easier. But it is something to keep in your back pocket. It was one of those things no one knew about, and then the pandemic happened and it exploded. I think everyone was using it. I don't see it used quite as much now, but then my son, who's in high school, just had a teacher who used it a good bit. So I do know it's still floating out there. I have a feeling most of you have seen. But if you do Edpuzzle, you need to have 5 questions in your video. There are YouTube directions up, because I'm going to show you Google Notebook, which I think is pretty cool. And unfortunately for you all, I've been messing around with it a good bit, so I figured I'd make this the assignment. All right, if you want to use this one. All right, again, go to Google Notebook. I'll have the link up on our site. And as you can see, I've already been messing around with it. But what Google Notebook does is it kind of can summarize documents. It can do things like make podcasts. It can organize worksheets into notes. It can bullet things. It can make pretty complicated things a little more simple, I guess. And as you can see, like, if you've done student teaching or done any field, I took the STOT. Excuse me, I was trying not to sneeze again. And there was a, you can load up and do podcasts. Let me reset here a little bit. When you go in there and load the document on here, as you can see, there's different things you can do with the document. You can load a conversation, which is actually pretty cool. It's basically a podcast. There's an audio overview here. There's an add a note. There's mind map. I'm kind of babbling, but because I basically want you to kind of do the audio overview. So let me go back to the beginning here. When you come to this page, these I've already made. You're going to hit create new. You're going to pick a document. I think it works best with a PDF. So I would take a PDF. I am going to take something, it's a social studies approach. You may have heard about it. I'm just going to pull it up here so you don't think I'm making it up. It's the CRAP approach, where basically you look at documents and look at the currency, the relevance, the authority, the accuracy, and the purpose of a document. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to click that. And actually, now that I see it, I do want to actually save it as a PDF if I can real quick, just so I have it on there. Let's do that. All right. Yeah, print. And let's go. Actually, let's see. I don't know if let me see if it'll do it. Oh, yeah, it'll do JPEG. Okay, just making sure. All right, so I'm going to load this right here. As you can see, the CRAP infographic. All right, it's loaded. This is all you're going to do. This is actually pretty cool, and this is all you need to do. Once you load your document in there, you're going to hit audio overview. As you can see, it's generating. And just to reset, because I don't think I did a very good job, I think this can make a lot of your documents kind of interesting and different ways to get the information out to students. You can add notes to documents. You can make mind maps out of these documents. I'll show you that real quick. I want you to do the audio overview, and I'll show you why. I've showed you the document, and as you can see, again, it's the CRAP document, so to speak. And as you can see, it's thinking, and while it's still thinking, I'll show you. You can also add notes to it. You can do a mind map. You can do timelines if you need to. You can make briefing documents. You can edit this document any way you want. I'm still messing around with this a little bit, but I just thought maybe making the audio overview would be a nice activity to kind of get you familiar with this. While it's still loading. It does sometimes take a little bit, but as you can see, it already gives me a little bit of summary, and you can copy that summary if you need to. And as you can see, you can start messing around and adding stuff to it down here. But again, you're just going to go to Google Notebook. You're going to create a new one. You're going to come to this page. You're going to load a document. And then you're going to hit audio overview. And I'll show you what you're going to submit as soon as this actually finishes. And where it says no need to stick around, may jump over here and come back. All right, while it's loading up. The next thing you're going to do is Canva. Canva it can do PowerPoint style presentations. It can do a lot of things. Most teachers use it as a flyer type thing. Again, go to canva.com. You have a Google account and you'll sign in. As you can see, it is something I've used for. Again, you can get souped up versions, and they are very slick about how they do that, because they'll have these really cool templates that you see, and then you'll see a little, like, I don't know if it's a dollar sign or what it is. So, but while that's still loading, I'll show you. When you go in, these are ones that I've made in the past. But you're just going to make a flyer. I really don't care what the flyer is. It could be for a school dance. It could be for social studies fair. It could be for science fair. It could be for math field day, whatever. It could be welcome to my class. But I basically just want you to pick a design. We'll hit create. And as you can see, there's newspapers, but let's just do presentations, sheets, docs. Let's do what we got. I don't like sheets. Let's look at docs. As you can see, there's some stuff there. I like flyers. Let's do this. Flyers. Of course, my face is right in the way. You can just type in flyers if you want. And as you can see, there's different ones. There's other ones you can type over. I just want you to make a flyer in Canva. You've probably seen a lot of teachers use this already. Let's see what the template looks like. It pops up. Ah, there we go. As you can see, there's different ones. So let's use, it'll suggest different templates. I will do this. And of course, it'll probably say, that's what I was going to say. That's probably one that but that's what I was talking about. Upgrade. Do not upgrade. Please do not upgrade. Get a full free one. This one that is free. Yes, it is. Okay. When you get in here, you literally can just type over this stuff. And if you want to make it a school dance, if you want to do any of that, that is fine. Again, I'm kind of leaving you out on a limb slightly. This is a little bit intuitive. You sign in, you type in flyer. You're going to have to mess around a little bit and just make something school related. And once you finish, just hit share and you can download. I know that you can do the link. I personally would just go down and just save it as a standard PDF and save it. It just seems like Brightspace where it operates the best on that. That's all you're doing with Canva. Make something fun. Just an announcement, dance, whatever, just something school related or classroom related. It can be a contest. I was trying to think if I got all the disciplines. It could be presidential fitness test, it could be a band competition, a band concert that's coming up, math field day, like I said, science fair, social studies fair, natural history, whatever. But just do that and you can kind of submit that. That's the Canva. Now, the big thing, can we go back here and see if we got this up? Ah, it did. All right, I'm jumping back. Now, Google, this is the Google Notebook. After we loaded up the crap test here, in here, I want you to load it up, hit audio overview again. It's going to take a few minutes, but once it does this, it's going to load something up here. I'm going to play this for you now. Hopefully it plays pretty clearly.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're all drowning in information these days. It's just constant.
It really is. Sorting through it all is, well, it's tough.
Exactly. So today our mission is basically to hand you a tool, something practical, a framework you can use right away to figure out what's credible online.
And that tool is the CRAAP. It sounds a bit funny, but it's this fantastic acronym adapted from CSU Chico. Super helpful.
Okay, an acronym.
So again, that's what it does. It's something that you might, if you have to do any type of differentiated learning, maybe it'll help a student, maybe just something to summarize for your students if you're posting online. Maybe it'll help you if you have pages of documents that you have to read for some reason or some policy. You can load it up in here and you can make a podcast basically out of it. To submit this, pick any document you want. You just download the document or download the audio file and you submit that. That's all you need to do. If you have trouble with that, take a screenshot and just submit this and I'll see that you had the audio overview and that's fine. Also, just to show you, there's a mind map. I'm going to go ahead and click this. I'm sorry. I have to admit, I've been messing around with this a lot and I'm still getting used to it. So I feel like you're all going to you're a little bit of guinea pigs because I want to see what you all came up with it and what you all think of it. Here's the mind map. And as you can see, it kind of breaks things down. You can make handouts for students very easily. To me, these are like the benefits of AI. So there's that. And let me get my face again out of the way. And last but not least, the QR code. I think everyone in here probably has done a QR code at this point. But I still wanted to show you this. Let me go in here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. When you go to the Shepherd homepage, you click email. Hopefully I'm still signed in. When you sign in, you're going to find this little waffle up there. Click that. There's a whole bunch of stuff right here. All of that stuff that is there. Let me do one thing real quick. Hey, welcome back. I'm sorry if that was a little pause there. I paused recording because I started sneezing again. And I think I want to subject you to that. Long story short, when you go to the website, the Shepherd website, and you log in, hit the waffle up here. There's a lot of cool stuff up here. There's Microsoft Copilot, which is now the AI, which there's also PowerPoint, which the AI feature will work with a little bit. You have Word access. These are all cloud type things, so you can work on this. But what I want you to do today is go to Forms. And I would like you to make some sort of survey, quiz, something like that in Forms. You can do either one. I don't care which one you do. We'll take Forms. And you're going to do, it can be any of these. You can do a Likert test, you can do a ranking, you can do tests. Most people just pick multiple choice, which is fine. That's what we'll do. That's the type of question. I would like you to do 5 questions in here. I don't know what I have on Brightspace. I feel like I have 5, but if I have more, don't worry about it. 5 is fine. I just want you to come up with like a quiz or something classroom related that you might give your students. So for example, if I was going to do social studies, I'm just going to do a couple of small questions. Which of the following is a reason / cause of war? And I might put it could be militarism. Sorry if I misspelled that. It could be, then we could say partying. And then we could do, you can add another option. So we'll say swimming, etc. And if you're doing the quiz, you do have to pick an answer, but basically after you do your question, you just do another one and you pick the type of question that you want to do. I would just do that again. Who were the central powers in World War I? And I might put, Germany, Austria, Bulgaria, something like that. Sorry if I'm mumbling. Well, we'll do the Ottoman, tells that. And we can do US, UK, and France. And this is again just a survey. It might be a little bit of a calibration test before, or a little pre-assessment before you teach your classes. Okay, once this is done, you need to title it. So we'll say pre-assess. Of course, we can collect responses. That's what I want to do. So we're going to collect responses. And all you need to do, I recommend doing anyone can respond, because it seems like we have less headaches. I'm in the network, so I shouldn't have a problem with it, but you can send the link and copy the link and submit it again on a Word document probably. But with that being said, I kind of just contradicted myself. Don't send me the link. Sorry, it's been a long morning already. You're going to hit this. There you go. If you really are worried, you can send the link with this. You're going to hit the QR code and you're going to download that QR code and you're going to submit it. So that's it. So just to rehash, you're going to go to the Shepherd website. You are going to sign in up the top where there's email. We'll go back over there. I'll move my face. Right here, you're going to sign in. You're going to go to the little waffle up here. You are going to go to Forms. Let me just hit that waffle again. You're going to hit Forms. And when you hit Forms, you're going to make a 5-question quiz or survey or whatever for your students. I'm going to X out of that. You are going to get that QR code. That is right here. After you make it, you're going to collect responses. You're going to QR code it. So again, you can send me the link if you want it as a backup, but hit that right there and just send that. If you are comfortable with other types of QR codes, so if you want to use it in Google, I'm actually fine with that. I just want to make sure you can make a QR code. We have easy access to the Shepherd materials. And honestly, I think a lot of people don't realize they have access to all of these things at Shepherd. And you just download the QR code right here and submit that. That's what you put on Brightspace. That should be the week. I know that's a lot. That's the price we pay for summer classes, but I don't think any of it's hard, but just to kind of rehash and then I'll kind of wrap things up. You're gonna do one presentation software. Don't care which one. I showed you Nearpod, but there are instructions on all of them. You can do Google Notebook or Edpuzzle for your next assignment. I showed you Google Notebook. Again, I'm still playing around with it, so I'm kind of interested what you come up with. But if you use Google Notebook, I just want you to take a document and I want you to load up an audio file on it and submit that file like the podcast type thing like I played. Canva, just make a flyer, sign in, find a flyer template, make something. QR code, send me a QR code with some sort of quiz or test, preferably in the Shepherd sign in, but if you are having problems, use the Google, that's fine. And you have your discussion, and for the blog, pick any of these texts. You only have to pick one. I'm holding up 2 fingers, but you really only have to pick one. Do your summary, just tell me if you like it, you don't like it, what you did, and that should do it. That is week 2. We'll kind of get into this a little bit. I will be sending out an email to our graduate students this week too. Maybe even, you may have even received it at the end of week 1. So this might be old news related to the paper assignment. I will make sure that is up this week, so everyone can get a little bit of a head start on that. And with that being said, I think that's it for the week. I hope everyone has a great week. If you have any questions, email me again. I'll probably be on a little bit of a 5-hour different, but I'll be sure to look. And again, I will have technology and access to that, so I can help you out. And that should do it. Again, have a great week. I'm going to stop. Thank you for bearing with my sneezing. And that should do it.